Gautama, he was a sage together with his Dulahin Ahalya. They lived by the Brahmagiri mountain together with many devotees, many sages, many Brahmans, many Rishis, many Munis. And he was very kind, he was very loving, he was very honest, he was very pure in everything that he did. And one day, my dear devotees, it is said, in that village that he lived, a drought came. And when that drought came, day after day after day, it started to get worse. From bad to worse, the drought went from days to weeks to months. And as that drought progressed, trees and plants started to dry. There was no water anymore for anyone to drink, anyone to survive, anything to grow and anything to prosper. The waters in the lakes and the ponds and the rivers dried up. Trees were dying, plants were dying, fruits and flowers, they weren't bearing and blossoming anymore. Animals started to suffer, started to die of thirst. And the villagers, the Brahmans, the sages, the devotees that lived there, everyone started to get very weak, very frail, very fragile, dying of thirst. Many animals, they left in search of water. Many people left in search of water. And many people stayed, hoping that one day the rains would come, hoping that one day the drought would be finished. And Gautama, seeing the suffering that is taking place, seeing the pain that everybody is in, he could not bear that pain. It is that a kind person will see you in pain and they will feel every bit of that pain. A compassionate person who loves you will see that you are not feeling good, will see that something is not going right in your life, and they will feel every bit of it. Sometimes they feel it without even asking you what is wrong. And Gautama, knowing that everyone is dying of thirst, everyone is hungry, there's no food, there's no water, everything is dying, he decided he would take it upon himself and he would do a vrat, he would do a puja, he would do worship to Varun Dev. And he prayed to Varun Dev for 6 months, hoping that Varun Dev would bring rain, hoping that Varun Dev would bless rain to fall upon the earth. First month went by, second month went by, third, fourth, fifth, and the 6th month came. And when that 6th month came, my dear devotees, Varun appeared before Gautama. And he said, Gautama, your devotion is so pure. What it is you're praying for? And Gautama said, Varun Dev, I am praying for rain to fall. The devotees and the villagers and the Brahmins, the sages, the animals, the plants, the trees, everything is dying because there's no rain. We need rain to survive. There's no water in the lakes and the ponds. So therefore I am praying to you for you to bring rain. If you truly please with my devotion, Varun, bless us with rain. And Varun looked at Gautama and he said, Gautama, I cannot do that. I cannot allow rain to fall. The Devtas in the heavens, they are in charge of that. Ask for something else and I will give it to you. And Gautama looked at Varun and he said, Varun, if you are truly pleased with my devotion, bless me with water. Water that I can use for the betterment of everyone. Water that I can use to give everyone to drink. Water that I can use to give everyone to sustain themselves. Water that I can use to regrow the plants and the trees that have died. Water that I can use to give to the animals that are suffering. And Varun Dev, he said, Gautama, if that is your wish, then so shall it be. Dig a pit, dig a hole right where you're sitting. And I will fill that pit with water that never finishes. Water that never dries up. And Gautama, you will use that water to help everybody. You will use that water to re-energize everybody. You will use that water to bring peace and happiness back into the lives of everybody that is suffering. Gautama, anybody who does puja with this water, they will get blessings. Anybody who can perform a shroud with this water, they will get blessings. Anybody who can give gifts using this water will get blessings. Anybody who plants a tree with this water will get blessings. Anybody who uses this water to feed animals would get blessings. I will bless you with this pit of endless water. And Gautama, my dear devotees, hearing the words of Varun, he was so overjoyed. He dug that pit and Varun Dev filled that pit with water. Varun Dev left, and Gautama now, he took that water and he called everyone, and everyone started to partake of that water, and the more they took was the more and more the water was refilling itself. It never ended, it never finished, it never dried up. Everyone started to prosper. Everyone started to see their way. All because of the actions and the kindness of Gautama. Gautama taking that water, he started to plant trees, fruit trees to grow, food for people to survive. He started to take care of the animals that were suffering. And as the days went on, even though rain was not falling, everybody was living happily. Everybody was living very peacefully. Why? Because of the kindness of Gautama. Because of the kindness of Gautama. A kind person, my dear devotees, will go above and beyond for you. A person who loves you and a person who appreciates you and a person who treasures you, they will go the extra mile for you. They will not make excuses, but they will make efforts. And if somebody truly loves you, if somebody truly appreciates you, remember that they'll never make an excuse, but they will make an effort. If you truly matter to somebody, they will not make an excuse, but they will make an effort. And in the kindness of Gautama, everybody started to strive. Everybody started to blossom. Everybody started to live peacefully because of Gautama. But can I ask you something? Do good things last forever, yes or no? Answer me. Do good things last forever? Do bad things last forever? Does anything last forever? No, nothing in this world lasts forever, no matter how good it is. You may want it to last forever, but it doesn't. Everything in this world is temporary. Every single thing. Good things will come, bad things will come. They are both a part of life. Rain will fall and sun will shine. It is both a part of life. Everything goes hand in hand. Everything goes hand in hand. And the things you and I have in our life, the people you and I have in our life, they may not always be there for us. Not everything lasts forever. Good things will not last, bad things will not last. And even though everybody was happy, everybody was enjoying the kindness of Gautama, destruction was about to come. One day, while everything was going good, while everything was going smoothly, Gautama, he looked at his students and he said, "Children, I want you to go by the pit and fill lotus with water and bring it back. It is time to do our worship. It is getting very late and we don't want to miss that auspicious timing." So Gautama sent some of his students by that pit of water. And when the students arrived by the pit of water, they saw surrounding that pit were a couple of the wives of the sages that resided in that village. And the wives of those sages saw the students of Gautama waiting to use the pit. And you know what the wives did? Nothing. Saw them, knowing they are the students of Gautama, saw they have their lota waiting to fill it to do puja. And these wives of these sages sat there by that pit and did nothing. The children, they tried to come a little closer. And you know what these wives did? They insulted them. They said, "Can't you see that we are here right now? Can't you see that we are using this water right now? You are not allowed to use this water when we are using it." And suddenly, these wives of these sages felt entitled to the water. And you know something? That's one of our problems in the world today. Many of people, they feel entitled to things. Let me tell you something. You and I ain't entitled to nothing. There's nothing in this world that you and I are entitled to. Nothing. When you came into the world, you came with the house and land, yes or no? No. When you came into the world, did you come with a car? No. We come with nothing and we leave with nothing. But when we are on the earth, what do? Fight for everything. We feel entitled to everything. And these wives of these sages, they felt entitled to the water. They said, "Leave, you cannot use this water when we are using it." So the students of Gautama, they went to Ahalya and they said, "Ma, we can't perform our puja because we can't use the water from the pit." She said, "Why not?" They said, "Because the wives of some of the sages in the village, they are occupying that pit right now and they told us we cannot come near it." Ahalya said, "Come, I will go with you." And Ahalya, taking the students, taking their lotas, she went to where that pit was. And seeing these ladies surrounding that pit, she started to speak very nicely to them. very compassionately to them. And she said, just excuse me for one moment as I fill these lotus to perform puja. The auspicious time is passing and we don't want to miss it. And she went, she dipped the lotus and she went back. And devotees, who tells she do that? Bap re bap. When she went and she took that water for the performance of puja, even though she spoke so nicely to the wives that were there, they became so annoyed with her. They became very irritated with her. They became very upset with her. They felt disrespected. They felt disrespected. And they said, how could she just come and interrupt us? How can she just come and take this water while we are using it? And they decided they are going to make mischief. They decided they are going to cause some sort of confusion. And they said, we will go back to the sages, our husbands, and we will tell them what Ahalya did. And our sages, our husbands, will deal with the situation. So the wives of these sages, they got up as Ahalya left, and feeling so annoyed and so, as we say, irritated and agitated, they went to their husbands. And you know what they started to do? They started to lie on Ahalya. They looked at their husbands and they started to fabricate things on Ahalya. They started to lie about what happened. They did not say that she came innocently, lovingly and took the water. They started to speak how she came harshly. They said to their husband, she came and she insulted us. She came and she spoke harsh words to us. She came and she humiliated us. She came and she looked down upon us. And they started to lie on Ahalya. And the sages, hearing the words of their wives, what do you think they did? If your wife come and tells you something and you will believe it? Yes or no? Yes, you will. You will believe it. And the sages, they did not realize that their wives were lying to them. And they believed every word that they were saying. They believed that Ahalya came with arrogance and told them to leave. They believed that Ahalya came and spoke down to them. They believed that Ahalya came and insulted their wives. And they got very, very upset, very, very irritated. And they said, listen, for the wrongdoing of Ahalya, Gautama will pay. For the wrongdoing of Ahalya, Gautama will pay. We will do something to Gautama so cruel that he will lose everything that he has built. We will do something so cruel to Gautama that he will lose his reputation, he will lose his name, he will lose his fame, he will lose his divinity. All because of the improper actions of his Dulahin. Now let me pause right there now and let me talk to you. Did Ahalya do anything wrong? Yes or no? No. She did nothing wrong. When she went there, did she speak harshly to the ladies? Yes or no? No. What did she go there for? For water. Water for what? To perform puja. These ladies now, these wives, lying on Ahalya, jeopardizing her good name, fabricating things about her, now cause their husbands, the sages, to get so angry that they want to take some sort of action on Ahalya and Gautama. Devotees, these sages are about to cause so much pain based on a simple word called L-I-E. What is that? A lie. These sages, listening to the lies of their Dulahins, were about to cause such havoc in the life of an innocent person. These sages, listening to the lies of their Dulahins, were about to cause pain in the life of the person who has them with water today. A lie, my dear devotees, can destroy a person's life, no matter how small that lie may be. And I'll tell you something, every single one of us, we tell lies from time to time. Nobody is perfect. We all tell lies depending on certain situations. And there are 4 types of lies that we sometimes find ourselves in. And I want you to tell me which lie is these wives telling on Ahalya. The first type of lie is called the lie of denial. What is it called? The lie of denial. What does that mean? The lie of denial means you tell a lie, you do something, and you deny it right down to the wire. You do something wrong, and because you don't want to get in trouble, you deny every bit of it. The lie of denial. Example, let us say you have a child, and the mother looks at the child and she says, son, I am going up the road to come back. There's a chocolate in the fridge. I do not want you to eat the chocolate because you have eaten enough over the last couple of days. So leave that chocolate in the fridge. So the child says, okay. So the mother goes up the road, and as soon as the mother goes, The child goes in the fridge, opens the chocolate and he eats it. Mother comes back after some time, she opens the fridge and the chocolate gone. She calls his son, son, where's the chocolate? I don't know. Did you eat the chocolate? No, mama. So who ate the chocolate? I don't know, mama. So then why your jersey has chocolate stain all over it? And what do you think happened there? The child, lying to get himself out of trouble, the mother saw the stains on the jersey. And she said, what is that chocolate stain doing there? I told you not to eat it, and you are lying to me. You are denying that you didn't eat it, and look, the evidence is right there. Another example, mother tells the child, don't eat the chocolate. Child goes and eat the chocolate. Mother says, did you eat the chocolate? No, mama, I didn't eat it. Who ate it? I don't know, mama. You sure you didn't eat it? Yes, mama, I am positive I did not eat the chocolate. And the child is lying and lying and lying to the wire because he doesn't want to get in trouble. The next day, the child goes to school. The mother goes in the child's room to make up the bed. And when the mother lifts the pillow, what she see? The chocolate wrapper. So even though the child denied it, he still got caught. So the lie of denial is where you may have done something wrong, and because you don't want to own up to it, you will lie and you will lie right down to the wire, and sometimes you will still get catch. The lie of denial. Many people do that. The second type of lie is called the lie of fabrication. What is it called? The lie of fabrication. The lie of fabrication means you are lying and you are making up the story. You are making up the lie as you go about it. So somebody is talking to you, somebody asks you for something, and because you don't want to do it, you make up a lie on the spot. You fabricate something on the spot and you begin to tell them. Example, let us say somebody invites you for puja tomorrow, and you say, I can't come to your puja tomorrow because I have to go to the dentist. And the dentist said, when I finish from him, I can't go anywhere. I need to rest. So you say, okay, no problem, maybe next time now. So 2 weeks gone by, and you meet up the person, hey, how are you doing? How was the doctor's appointment? Everything went good? Yeah, everything went good. You didn't see I got new glasses? You get a new glasses? The dentist giving glasses? No. And what happened there? Because you fabricated, you forget your lie. You forgot what you made up, and you got caught. So the lie of fabrication, you are speaking, you are lying on the spot, but you have to follow the lie you are telling because it can come back around to haunt you. So the lie of fabrication, where you are lying, making up things on the spot, but it can come back to haunt you. The third type of lie is called the lie of minimization. What is it called? The lie of minimization. That is when you lie about something and you try to minimize it as best as you can. Something big happened, but you try to make it look really small so that you don't get in trouble. Example, I remember some years ago, Baba, look him right there, he swing in the yard. And when he swing in the yard, he swing a little too wide and the front of the car touched the post. Very lightly, nothing happened to the car, but just some of the paint came off. So, he said he will fix that in a timing. Couple of weeks later, I drive in the car, and I turned the corner a little too hard, and I hit the post. Park up the car, say, Bab, that is trouble. I'm watching it. I realize it's the same spot Baba hit. But this time, he one just had a little paint come out. My one have more paint and a little dent. So I park up the car and I gone inside. In the evening, he called me. He said, son, come. I said, come in. He said, what going on there? I said, what going on where? He said, what happened to the car? I said, well, and you know you hit it the other day, boy? I said, you hit it the other day, and well, I end up coming in a little too hard and I hit the same spot, but it only looking so because two of we hit it. So what do you think happened there? I minimized the lie to not get in trouble. So the lie of minimization is where something a little serious may happen, but not to feel the full consequences of it. You try to make it look a little small, make it look a little insignificant. And the fourth type of lie is called the lie of, I forget it. What is it called? And this is a very important one. It is called the lie of exaggeration. The lie of exaggeration is where you lie about something and you exaggerate it beyond what took place. Where something happens and you lie so much about it, you exaggerate every single corner, every single aspect of that lie, and you make something very tiny into something very large. So knowing that in mind now, which lie do you think these wives were telling on Ahalya? Were they telling lies of denial to their husbands? Were they telling lies of fabrication? Were they telling lies of minimization? Or were they telling lies of exaggeration? Which one? Exaggeration. They were exaggerating a situation that was very, very small. And not only were they telling lies of exaggeration, but they were telling lies of fabrication. They were making up what happened. They were lying on Ahalya and saying, she insulted us, she humiliated us, she looked down upon us, when all she did was fill the water to perform the puja. Ganesh Baba appeared before them, and seeing Ganesh Baba in front of them, they asked Ganesh Baba to bring so much difficulty into the life of Gautam. They asked Ganesh Baba to bring so much pain, so much hardship into the life of Gautam that he loses his name, he loses his fame, he loses his reputation, he loses his character, he loses everything that he has built. He is even forced to leave the home that he has built. And that is how powerful a lie is, my dear devotees. Somebody may do the world of good for you, and all it takes is one person to poison your head about them, and suddenly you forget all the good that they would have done for you. I'll tell you something, nobody in this world is perfect. Everybody falters from time to time. Everybody makes mistakes from time to time. But never allow your view on somebody else to be dictated by what outsiders tell you. I'll say that again. Never allow your opinion on anybody, your view on anybody to be dictated based on what other people tell you. Know somebody for who they are. Understand them for who they are. And if you feel entitled to judge a person for whatever reason, judge them based on what you have experienced from them. There are too many people in the world today hate others because of what somebody else told them. There are too many people in the world today have negative things. Baba standing in front of these sages, listening to how they are bashing Gautam. Ganesh Baba looks at them and he says, and the moment Gautam touches me, I will die. When I die, you come and you do whatever it is you want to do. You come and you tell him whatever it is you want to tell him, but I would have done my part. So, the sages, they waited anxiously for Ganesh Baba to take that form of that cow. And Ganesh Baba taking that form of that cow, he began to graze near the home of Gautam. And as the day went by, when Gautam came outside, he saw this cow looking very old, very fragile, very frail, very feeble. And Gautam decided he would take that cow away from his home and carry it where the grass is a little better, where he will get better care, better attention. That is the love that Gautam has. Wanting to take that cow where she will be better taken care of, where she will have better grass to eat, better food to partake of. So Gautam, he goes up to that cow, and the moment Gautam goes up to that cow, he places his hand on that cow to guide that cow away. And the moment he places that hand on that cow falls lifeless on the floor. And the moment that cow falls lifeless on the floor, all the Brahmins, all the Rishis, all the Munis, they rush forward to condemn Gautam. They rush forward to chastise Gautam. They rush forward to humiliate Gautam. And they started to shout at him, Gautam, what have you done? What have you done? You're a Brahmin and you killed this most sacred animal, the cow. How could you do something like that? How could your touch cause this cow to die? You should be ashamed of yourself, Gautam. You have sinned and you have committed the greatest sin anyone can commit. And they started to speak words so harshly to Gautam. Gautam called his Dulahin and he said, Devi, I did nothing like that. All I did was touch that cow. I don't understand how that cow fell lifeless on that floor, fell lifeless on that ground. And all the Brahmins, all the Rishis, everyone surrounded Gautam and Ahalya and just started to insult, just started to condemn, just started to humiliate, say the most dirty of things to the same one that brought them water. That is the world for you. That is the world for you. You think it only happens now? No, it happening back then as well. It happening back then as well. That is how the world works today. Same sages that benefited from Gautam now turned on him. Same people that benefited from you may one day turn on you. And that's the harsh reality of life. Gautam, with tears in his eyes, hearing the insults being thrown at him, knowing fully well he did nothing wrong, he started to feel guilty. He started to feel guilty. He said, maybe I did. Maybe I am so sinful that by touching that cow, she died. Maybe Lord Shiva is not pleased with me. Maybe Devtas find I'm doing something wrong, so they are punishing me. And Gautama, my dear devotees, who is so innocent, started to feel as if he was guilty. Started to feel as if he was guilty, and listening to the words that are being thrown at him, listening to the insults being thrown at his Dulahin, he just stood there and he embraced it all, because he couldn't say anything again. He thought he was guilty. The sages looking at Gautama, they said, Gautama, leave this village immediately, because if a person who has killed a cow remains in this village, then everything will go downhill. Nothing will grow, nothing will prosper, nothing will succeed. So you can take your sinful self and leave this village if you want this village to prosper. Gautama, wherever it is you go, you are not allowed to do puja anymore. Wherever it is you go, you are not allowed to chant the name of the Devtas anymore, to perform any sort of rituals for anybody, because you're a sinner. How can a sinner perform rites for anybody? Gautama, you can pray on your own, but you cannot pray and do worship for anybody or with anybody. Gautama, leave this village if you want to live peacefully. And Gautama, my dear devotees, taking his Dulahin, shocked, confused as to what is happening, he decided he will leave. He will leave everything that he built. He will leave everything that he started to regrow, all the plants and everything that was starting to prosper again. He would leave it all behind because he sinned. He sinned. And Gautama, my dear devotees, as he went into his little hut to organize his stuff, the villagers came and they started to throw stones at the home of Gautama. They started to throw stones and rocks and pebbles into the home of Gautama, throwing hurtful words and abusing Gautama. And Gautama, together with his Dulahin, they packed their stuff and they were making their way from the Brahmagiri mountain. As Gautama was leaving, he looked at the sages. And Gautama, my dear devotees, believing that the sages had his best interest at heart, he said, my friends, what advice do you have for me? Look at that now. The same people that just betrayed him, the same people that just turned on him, even though Gautama did not know they are the ones responsible, he called them his friends and he said, advise me, how do I fix this? How do I purify myself? How do I ask for forgiveness from killing this cow? And these same Brahmins, these same rishis who lived off the kindness of Gautama, seeing Gautama begging for help, you know what they did? Nothing. They did nothing. Listening to the plea of Gautama, listening to the words of Gautama, listening to the sorrow in the voice of Gautama, hearing Gautama asking them, tell me, give me advice. They refused to even utter a word. No time at all, Shiv Baba appeared before him. All the sin that Gautama thought he committed, in an instant, Shiv Baba appeared before him. And when Shiv Baba appeared before Gautama, Gautama falling at the feet of the Lord, he started to cry and he said, forgive me for the sins that I have committed. And Shiv Baba, he looked at Gautama and he said, Gautama, never in my life have I met a devotee who is more sinless than you. What are you praying for? To be freed from what sin? What is the sin you are talking about? You committed no sin. But Gautama, the Brahmins and the sages that you interacted with, they are the one who committed a sin. Gautama, you did nothing wrong. And Gautama, hearing the words of Shiv Baba, he stood there completely shocked, completely bewildered. And Shiv Baba said, Gautama, it is the Brahmins that you interacted with. They are the ones who are wrong. They are the ones who committed a sin. And therefore they shall be punished accordingly. And Gautama, my dear devotee, is realizing that the cow did not die by his touch, but the cow died by whatever the Brahmins were doing. Gautama, my dear devotees, he looked at Shiv Baba with tears in his eyes. And you know what Gautama said? Gautama now had power in his hands. Gautama now had Shiv Baba standing in front of him. Gautama now knew the truth that his own Brahmins, his own loved ones that he looked after, were the ones that turned on him. And Gautama now having power in his hands, he could have done anything he wanted to do. And Gautama looked at Shiv Baba and he said, Shiv Baba, they committed a sin, but it is through their sin I came into contact with you. I'll say that again. He said, Shiv Baba, they committed a sin, but it is through their sin that I came into contact with you. If they did not do what they did, then I would not have had the privilege to have you in front of me. And that is a very powerful line. Gautam could have said, Shiv Baba, destroy them. Shiv Baba, take away everything from them. But instead he said, bless them, because their actions led me to you. That was the kind of person Gautama is. No matter how negative a situation may be, he found a way to see the light in a situation. That is what a kind and compassionate person is all about. A kind and compassionate person, they have a light within them that no matter how toxic and dark a situation may be, they will always shine through and find a way to the end of that darkness. Gautama, my dear devotees, saying to Shiv Baba, it is through their actions I met with you. Shiv Baba stood in front of Gautama in absolute awe of the divinity, the purity, the kindness, the compassion that this Bhakta possessed. He said, Gautama, ask for whatever it is you wish. Ask for whatever it is you desire, and I will bless you with it. Gautama looked at Shiv Baba and he said, Shiv Baba, when I committed, or when I was told I committed such sin, they told me to do many, many difficult things. But there was one thing I wish I could have done. And there's one thing I wish I can still do. And it is to take a bath in the Ganga. Shiv Baba, if you are pleased with my devotion and I committed no sin, bless me that the Ganga flows here. And Shiv Baba, looking at Gautama, he says, Gautama, if you wish for Ganga to reside here, and if you wish to take a bath together with your Dulahin, your students, and purify yourself, I bless you that Ganga will come and Ganga will reside. It is said at that point in time, Shiv Baba, calling upon Ganga Ma, she manifested before Gautama. And she said, Gautama, for your puja, for your love, for your divinity, I will allow you to take that bath. I will allow your Dulahin and your students to take that bath, and then I will return. Gautama said, no ma, I do not want you to leave. But when I take this bath, when my Dulahin takes this bath, when my disciples take this bath, I want you to remain on this earth to purify anybody who may have sinned. I want you to remain on this earth for the betterment of everyone else. I want you to remain at this very position on this earth for the betterment of any person who may wish to purify themselves. Instead of they having to travel and find you, may you reside right here so that they can purify themselves right here. And Gangama, looking at Gautama, she said to Gautama, if that is your wish, so shall it be. However, Shiv Baba, I will only reside in this spot if you stay with me. Shiv Baba, if you take the form of a lingam and you manifest next to where I will come, we will stay here together. Anyone who takes a glimpse of you in that form of that lingam will be freed from sins. Anyone who takes a bath in my water will be freed from sins. And Shiv Baba and Gangama coming to this agreement, it is said Shiv Baba manifested in the form of a lingam called the Trayambakeshwara Jyotilinga. And Gangama, she manifested herself there, not in the form of the Ganga river, but in the form of the Gautami river. The river was named after Gautama itself. Any person who goes to that Gautami river and takes a bath in that Gautami river, they will be freed from whatever sins they committed. And next to that river, that form of Shiv Baba in the form of Trayambakeshwar resides. Anybody who does worship by that lingam will be purified, will be blessed, will be freed from all their sins. Gautama, my dear devotees, he had so much power at that point in time. He could have asked for anything, but the kindness in him asked for Ganga to reside here permanently and for Shiv Baba to reside here permanently. He didn't ask to cause any harm, any pain, any suffering to those that hurt him, but he asked to free them from their sins if they are to bathe in this water, if they are to get a glimpse of that lingam. Devotees, the world that we live in is very cruel, and people will want to take advantage of your kindness. But like Gautama, never allow the light that is within you to be out by anybody around you. Never allow that glow that you possess to be taken or snatched away from anybody. Never allow the goodness in your heart to turn negative. Never allow the love in your heart to turn to hate. Never allow the pure characteristics that you have turn negative. Never allow anybody to take the kindness and the compassion that you have and turn you into stone, turn you into something that no one else may like. Remain as pure as you can. Remain as kind as you can. Just as Gautama, everything around him crumbled, but he never changed who he was. In your life and in my life, we face enemies from every corner, every direction. But stand firm stand with Shiv Baba, and you will never ever be alone in this world.